Hello there, I'm Melville-Brown from Baking Blind. I've been cooking across 6 continents, trying to show that disabled people can still do almost anything.
And stop.
I'm here in this wonderful fine dining restaurant called China Live in the middle of Chinatown in San Francisco. And I'm lucky enough to have Louis here with me, who is the executive pastry chef.
Today we'll be making a seagrass cake with passion fruit mousse.
And completely unknown to me, seagrass. But we've got some here. Louis, where is it?
Yes, there you go.
Can you just explain this to me?
Yeah, so one of the main ingredients, well, one of our favorite ingredients that we get through China Live is imported seagrass. And it's a little bit different than traditional seaweed or nori.
Yep.
These are all, this kind of grows in the marshlands of China, if I'm correct, on the east coast mostly, but all within China as well, but the heavily predominant areas are on the east side of the country.
First, we started with the passion fruit mousse. We brought the mixture to a gentle simmer, which partly cooked the eggs, and then passed it through a sieve, but having placed the softened gelatine in the bottom of the sieve first, and then cooled in the fridge. Then we moved on to the seagrass sponge, and this meant that I was whisking together the eggs, the sugar, and the absolutely unique roasted tea oil, and all of that over a pan of hot water, so it was partly cooking the egg. Then the hot mixture is transferred into a clean cold bowl and whisked really fast until it becomes tepid. At that stage, there's still lots of air bubbles in the mix, but they're quite large. So now it goes on to a slower mix for about 3 to 5 minutes, which will break down those bubbles and make it more soft and marshmallowy. Then Louis gradually added the seagrass, which had been powdered, and turned the mixture green. While he'd been just using the machine, I was working really hard, whisking the egg whites and sugar together to make a very soft meringue. Louis's tip was that when whisking to stiff peak for this recipe, you still wanted to keep the peaks a little soft and a little wet to avoid the sponge becoming tough.
So this is the egg yolk, seagrass, eggs, sugar, and tea oil all mixed together into a fluffy, almost, keep going down a little bit more.
A bit more?
More. There you go. It's almost a marshmallowy,
It is,
like,
isn't it? Very smooth and delicious. It feels lovely.
yeah, it does have like a little off green, almost in a brown tint.
Sort of khaki.
Yeah.
Good for Marines.
Yes.
The seagrass mix was gently folded into the egg whites, and then the whole mixture spread into tins that had been lined with parchment paper and given a short spray of oil. The cake only needs a short cooking period because lots of the egg proteins have already been heated. So into a hot oven that is immediately turned down, and then halfway through the cooking period the trays are turned around to rotate them. Our next job was to finish the passion fruit mousse. Louis had gently beaten the double cream so it was just holding its shape, and meanwhile I was just whisking together the mousse that had come out of the fridge just to break it up and so that it was all smooth. Are you going to add to me or am I going to add to you?
I can add to you.
Okay. Can we just keep going while you add?
Yeah, so a little bit softer now on the whiskey method.
Yeah. And that's our timer
So,
for the cake coming out?
Well, the check.
Check, because you wanted to turn it around, didn't you?
Yes, so we're going to turn it around probably for another, well, we're going to check now and actually see if it's 8 minutes is fine. Then we'll... There you go.
Oh yeah, just set, spongy, firm.
It's got a little bit of brown on top, which
Yep.
is fine.
Goes with the khaki.
Yeah.
You cut these little pieces of this very delicate sponge into rounds, and we're now going to dress the amateur plate, the home cook. This is what we can do at home.
Yes, so the thickness of this cake is actually really nice.
Yes.
Not too cakey, not too overbearing. Sometimes
Yes.
with a lot of our desserts and cakes, sometimes the cake just surpasses the filling,
Yep.
the flavor. But this is a really nice light sponge. So we have a plate, a bowl. We've cut a little circle, and it's all placed inside. And for me, sometimes just that free hand.
So that you put that on there. Yep.
I'm just gonna a nice little dollop of the very soft peat.
So this is the home cook's version of this wonderful dessert, and you can just see those fabulous seagrass crackers. I'll show you how to make those next week, and more importantly, how Lewis turns this whole concept into a fine dining experience.
All the recipes are on my website, www.bakingblind.com.